All right, I was actually just about to walk out the door, and I thought maybe I will try to make an actual really short video because I have been a little MIA because crazy gigs last month. Things are slowing down a little bit. But anyway, there was an accompaniment I was working on, and it kind of sparked a thought for me because it had this one spot where there was this kind of simple thing. I think it was a real simple stride pattern, so it was kind of like I want to think it was G flat up to D flat or something like that, or maybe up to like B flat and alternating, something like that. And what I really notice about this is how good of a preparatory exercise and kind of a progression this is into getting used to large distances in your left hand, and you can come up with a lot of variations. I can think of a lot of things, so I'll try to throw a couple of these out there. For one, you could just do that real simple one-handed thing, because like if you just want to reach tenths, I don't know if if you don't have a tenth like I don't, and you actually have to reach for that, you could go from this. You could think of it however you want, like G flat to B flat, right? Because you can feel these. That's the thing about black keys that's so fantastic is the topography's there. So you could feel for this B flat and then feel up for the D flat because it's just a little higher, and you can slow down and make sure you kind of feel it out with your thumb. And you can even go down if you want. Try to go down to the E flat there and work down, and you can really practice doing that kind of blind. That's just to get used to moving your hand and trusting yourself to move and hit a specific key. Where I would think maybe you can go from there is something that's really, really practical is to go to full like triads in your in the top part. So I could do like this. We'll switch over to F sharp because where I'm going with this, it makes more sense to think in F sharp. So I'll think of this as F sharp and then play this F sharp triad, right? Because you can really feel where those are, and you can just let your hands kind of glide over the keys and find that spot without having to look at it. So you can get used to that. And if you want, you can alternate, because a lot of times for stride patterns you're going to alternate between 1 and 5 in your bass. So you get that kind of thing going on. And you could even try the lower 5 if you want. Right? And you can kind of feel those pretty cleanly. If you want to take it up a step from there, you could also try to do the scale. I was kind of thinking about this earlier, and just move up to the, yeah. And once again, when you get to the B, the fourth in that scale, it's right against the A sharp. So you can feel that with the edge of your finger, and then just keep going over the 5 and the 6. And then, obviously, you're already in the octave, but you can feel the E sharp. It's right here. It's right up against that F sharp. So even if you had if you're covering a bigger distance, this is a little less practical, but even if you're going up to here, you could still find that E sharp. So you could do it descending. I would not necessarily recommend doing this in this octave, but we'll get to why this is useful in a second. But you could find that descending. You're not normally going to cross kind of your midline for stride patterns. That's just not going to happen practically. But where I'm going with this is that this is a good way to get used to doing this and then move it into other keys. Because the thing is, if you can do this 1-5 pattern in F sharp where it's really easy to feel the topography, well, your hand is used to this distance. And you know what? This distance is the same as like this distance. So no matter what key, if you're just playing in G or something, that's a key. Those distances are the same as this one, right? So you're getting used to where the distance is. It's just that this is the kind of training wheels version. As difficult as it is to normally read in a key like F sharp or G flat, physically they're easier keys to play because you can feel them. But the keys you'll actually encounter where you might be wanting to play a stride pattern are going to be white key type keys, and those are a little harder to feel. But if you already kind of have that procedural memory built in of where those distances are, then it's an easier transition to make. Um, just another quick thought: if you wanted to incorporate some other stuff, just to coordinate with your left and right hand, you could just do a simple scale pattern, right? So you could do like a whoops. And that even works if you want to do that ascending thing. So that just gives you something to be doing with your right hand over the top of it. You could do fuller scale patterns. I'm just doing up to the fifth. But those are just some thoughts. The thing is, like, my whole philosophy is that it's like these are not set in stone. You don't have to find an exercise written in a book, and you don't have to do the exercise the exact way that I'm showing you. But these are just ideas, because you can mess with these and do all kinds of variations on this. The idea is to get used to these distances, get used to coordinating your hands. You could do all kinds of, other patterns in your right hand if you want. You could actually play a melody to a song if you wanted to. That kind of thing. So this is just a jumping off point. And it really struck me while I was practicing the accompaniment, how useful that black key thing was, just how easy that particular stride jump was. So anyway, hopefully that's helpful.